Wait, there's something very weak coming through.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Hello, fellow Galactic listeners. I'm Aaron Julian, and this is WSTR Galactic Public Access, a Star Wars podcast. Welcome to episode 126, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening today. We are going to put on a great show for you. Today, we are doing an Imperial inspection. Been a while since we had one of those. On Salt Mara, or more commonly known as Yak Face. Joining me today, as always, Miss Heather Allred.
Who's Yak Face?
I don't know.
All right, but I'm here. Let's do this. I'm ready to learn.
We should probably rely on our guide through the thick, jungly forests of Star Wars lore, Mr. Todd Hoffman.
Thank you. I'm so glad we're talking about Yak Face.
All right. Stick with us. We're going to go ahead and pay some bills first, because as you know, it ain't easy living with a price on your head. You could find everyone here, except Aaron, on social media at WSTR Media.
That's not true.
Word.
You are on social media. You just don't check it.
Yeah, I just don't check it. So I might as well not be on there. But, you know, I can't have somebody else running around as me.
That's right.
So.
That's right.
You could also send us an email at mailbox@wstrmedia.com. You can leave us a voicemail at 630-557-WSTR. That's 630-557-9787. We want to hear from you, and you want to hear your gorgeous voice blasted across the galactic holonet. Our entire back catalog of episodes and all links everywhere we are at can be found at podcast.wstrmedia.com. Let's talk about Audible.
Let's.
So, Amazon's got a great product. It's called Audible. It's a subscription audiobook service, if you haven't heard by now, which brings to you over 425,000 titles to choose from wherever you want to listen. You can head on over to audibletrial.com/WSTR and get your free 30-day trial, which includes a free audiobook of your choice, and now two free Audible originals.
Whoa.
With a new selection cycled out each month. So these Audible originals are audiobooks produced for and available exclusively through Audible. You can't get them anywhere else. Here's what is waiting for you this month. Consider it Aaron's recommendations. We have Alien 3, but not as you think. So
No, and I've already started listening to this one, buddy.
Okay, yeah. So if you don't know, Alien came out, changed the world of horror and sci-fi forever. Aliens followed up like 5-6 years later and transformed it from a horror franchise to like an action horror franchise, and it was awesome. Then Alien 3 came around. Was it David Fincher, his first directorial movie?
Yeah.
It was kind of a flop. So I happen to like it for a few reasons, but it definitely fell short of its potential. However, in the development of it, there was a version of the screenplay written by William Gibson, and a lot of Alien fans say like it's the best thing ever. It's what the movie should have been, but alas, it never made it to screen. But now you at home can listen to it. Reproduced with an all-star cast, including Michael Biehn and Lance Henriksen, returning as Corporal Hicks and Bishop, to produce for you, for your ears, the William Gibson script of Alien 3.
It's pretty awesome. I just started listening to it on Friday, so I'm super pumped about it.
Well, Todd, we didn't even discuss this beforehand, but I'm glad you could give it your endorsement as well.
That's what I'm here for, guys. That's what I'm here for.
So, listen to that and so much more with the June selection of Amazon's Audible Originals. Head on over to audibletrial.com/WSTR. Get your pick. Don't miss out on June's Audible Originals or your choice of 425,000 titles. And if for whatever reason you are not happy with Audible service, cancel it. No questions asked. You get to keep whatever audiobook you choose and, of course, those two Audible Originals. So help yourself out, help the podcast out. Head on over to audibletrial.com/WSTR today. This podcast is also brought to you by our merchandise store over at the good folks at Teespring. You can find us there at store.wstrmedia.com. We'll forward you over to Teespring. We could cover you head to toe in WSTR merchandise. That's hats, hoodies, tank tops, tees, yoga pants, socks, mugs, stickers, whatever you can imagine. We've got it there waiting for you over at store.wstrmedia.com. All right, Heather, some people feel like news items are spoilers. And you know what? They have every right. They have every right. That's why we shift news to the end. But in the meantime, can you give us a teaser of what's to come?
I would be honored to give you guys a little tease of the news.
Alrighty.
All right, I've got 3 main points for you all, and it starts with the following. Younglings. Are they alive? Are they dead? We just don't know.
Oh no.
That's not in the notes.
Everyone thought it. She just said
I
it.
just said it. I don't know, making up stuff. All right, number 2, order.
Okay.
And then number 3, I'm not such a bad pilot myself.
Right on.
Do you guys even know that I fly planes? Probably not.
Probably not. No.
Because I don't.
No.
Okay.
News for me.
But anyway, that's all I have. So you'll have to wait till the end.
Oh my gosh.
So, Todd, what's been happening?
It's
On
time
Twitter.
for Twitter Trash Compactor.
Get in there, you big polio! I don't care what you smell! Get in there and don't worry about it!
All right.
What?
Yes, I know. It comes every week, and you're still surprised, but that's okay.
I know. I emerged from my exile in the Dagobah cave, shielding my eyes from the bright sun of Twitter.
Right, exactly. Every week we run a poll, and this week was no exception. We talked last week about the Phantom Menace documentary, a really long title, The Beginning, The Making of, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. It just rolls right off the tongue. So this week we asked, what was your favorite behind-the-scenes bit in the Phantom Menace documentary? We had Rick McCullum dropping F-bombs. Storm of
That's
Tunisia.
my favorite moment.
Yeah. Lightsaber practice, or George at the beginning, like real, not real, real, not real. Those were your 4 choices. Ladies first, Heather. What would you have chosen?
Well, I did choose because I like to vote.
I like that. I like that attitude.
I chose the lightsaber practice.
It is good.
I mean, I have high respect for Ray Park. And then just seeing, just seeing that it's a dance, it's martial arts, it's all mixed together. I dig it.
You know, we didn't talk about this last week. He had a black eye.
He did.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from.
Took one for the
I
team.
was gonna say it's
Is
rough
that
out there.
Is that
Ewan
is that,
got a little wild with the swings there.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I know. I don't know if he took one for the team, or if Ewan just like popped him one, or what.
Or was it not even from lightsaber practice? Did he come from a different thing beforehand?
Yeah, I know. I know.
Maybe his cat rushed him. Who knows?
Just saying.
That's awesome. All right, so and then here's the thing: we made it, guys. We made. This is not even like a spicy tweet. This is like so hot. It's like Misa hot because
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Ahmed Best liked 2, not just 1, 2 of our tweets.
2?
2.
That's crazy.
I think we just end the podcast now on a high note, and
While we're still ahead.
While we're still ahead. But yeah, it's just cool. I mean, this is where social media is just that makes it a fun thing when you have an actor from a Star Wars film, like a little podcast from Chicago. And so, yeah, it was two of the tweets, and he liked them. And of course I shared it with you guys. I'm like, we're winning now. Winning.
Yeah.
So there you go.
It will be a day long remembered.
It will be. So thank you, Ahmed Best. And honestly, totally appreciate your performance. And like one of them was, talking, we said, hungry for some Star Wars, look no further. We're talking about the 20th anniversary of The Phantom Menace by looking at the beginning documentary, talking about how the heck did Ahmed Best survive that Tanisha heat. And that's one of them he liked. I don't think he liked sweating for Star Wars, but, so there.
It's like any hard experience you go through and can look back on later, and it, brought you success or taught you something or whatever.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, that's the kind of fun I never want to have again.
I would say that is very much like having a tattoo. It's like, that was a lot of pain, and I don't really like that happened, but now that it's done, it's like, oh, it's there. Okay, cool. I'm good. I don't know. But moms might say that about childbirth too.
You do have a point.
So no really spicy tweets. That was just a fun little thing that happened on Twitter. And so it's always good when social media is fun and not toxic and all that fun stuff. So, all right. Now I think it's time to move.
Stop right there, Todd.
Oh.
We didn't get the results of the poll.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I got so excited for Ahmad Best, and I that's true. Thank you for keeping me on task, my friend.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. So, Aaron, what would you have voted with your mind from the Dagobah Cave? What would you have tweeted or voted?
Oh, McCallum dropping F-bombs for sure. It's just, it's indicative of what kind of era we live in, where it's like back then they're just like, sure, bleep them, but, put it in the documentary. Who cares?
Right. Yeah.
Whereas Disney is so image conscious now where they're like, oh, we can't have any of that in there. And it's like, even the behind the scenes stuff is super highly produced and edited together, where it's like, this is the moment we've been waiting for. You're on holy ground when you're watching them making the movie. It's like, nah, just Rick McCallum letting the hair go down.
When he sees that down pod racer, he's like, yeah.
It's refreshing. I love it.
It is. Yeah, that's the one I voted for too, because it's just out of place. Because it's funny. This was happened a while ago, but Revenge of the Sith has the PG-13 rating, and with PG-13, you can use one F word. And so the question was posed.
It's not written down anywhere, but
the question,
there's a censor board, and that's pretty much what they've worked out.
Yeah. So basically, the question was, where would you put the F-bomb in Revenge of the Sith, if you would? So, but yeah, like you said, it in this day and age, it's a little more polished, and you want to see that. Somebody definitely says it on set, but not filmed and produced and put on, stuff like that. So, so that's the one I voted for. But Twitter voted for Heather, and it's lightsaber practice, which is also very good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there you go. Thank you, Aaron, for keeping me on track, because then people are like, well, what happened to the poll? I'm like, I don't know.
That's okay.
Every pilot needs a co-pilot.
That's right.
All I'm doing now is figuring out where the F-bomb would be in Revenge. I'm just like, where would I put that?
Yeah, where would you put that? Yeah. I personally probably be when Anakin's burning alive. I think that would be of any place. It would probably be one of the best spots to put it. But
it probably wouldn't even be directed at anybody. It'd just be like,
Exactly. Or when the Emperor, because it's funny, you don't really realize it, but the Emperor does the same thing that Obi-Wan does to Luke in A New Hope, when he comes down. But like right before he gets to Anakin, he just sees him. He's like, So either spot works. It worked. It would work.
Yeah.
So.
Or when the Emperor finds Anakin. Come on.
But are we not sure that R2 or Chewie or
here's the
BB-8
deal.
are swearing in any of the other films?
They very well could be.
I'm just putting that out there.
Here's the deal. I know R2 is your favorite droid, but he got a potty mouth.
I know.
He's swearing all the time. You know?
Yep.
All right. Now,
Okay.
Now, let's move on to the main topic.
And now for our feature presentation.
Okay, I literally put a picture in our notes so these kids could know what Yak Face looks like, you know. So this spurred a conversation that Aaron and I were having at C2E2 because we'll get into a little bit later, but basically Hasbro created this huge sail barge. Yak Face is part of it, and I'm like, Aaron, did you see the price of the sail barge? He's like, no. I'm like, it's like $2,000. People are asking $2,000 for this thing. And then he's like, and it's like, it comes with Yak Face. And he's like, what's Yak Face? I'm like, oh. Oh, my child. We need to sit down and talk about Yak Face. So it got delayed. A lot of things happened in Star Wars land. But, you know, Yak Face falls into that weird kind of category where he's in Return of the Jedi. He doesn't say anything, but he's very, very popular. So
Apparently.
he fits right at the Star Wars lore. So again, with any production, you know, Return of the Jedi it's like Cantina 2.0, Jabba has a lot of crazy cats, a lot of crazy people in his little, I don't know, what would you call it? I'm trying to think, like, what would you call, like, Jabba's little lair? Not the palace itself, but, like, his little...
Like his entourage?
Yeah, like, well, you know, where they got the throw pillows and people are passed out everywhere and
Like
they're
a
sleeping.
speakeasy?
Yeah,
Or like
the
a
recreational
lounge?
room.
Like,
The lounge.
I want to say dojo, but it's not even like that. It's
Yeah.
whatever, you know. I mean, he has, like, you know, everything he needs right
His
there.
pad.
His pad. And then, you know, right below him, he's got his pit bull with the Rancor just sitting there like, hey, you're boring me. You're down, you know, I'm going to feed you to the dog, you know.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's where that's where we kind of see Yak Face there and then on the sail barge. So this guy is called, you know, with any production name, they give him a name before they actually name him in Star Wars language. So everyone has a production name. So this guy is like Yak Face. Your face looks like a yak. So it's not very PC, but that's how it goes. You know, like Ponda Baba's Walrus Man, A New Hope, you know, Pigman, you know, there's, you know, Hammerhead, you know, those kind of things. They just got these kind of common names. So this guy's called Yak Face. And the species is called Yakura, and he's a trickster. So this dude's lived, and this information, you know, we got to Wikipedia this because there's not too much on Yak Face. So good old Wikipedia. Here we go. All right. So this is the description. So he's a trickster and information broker who lived in it for several centuries during the waning days of the Old Republic and the reign of the mighty Emperor Palpatine. Yak Face kept details surrounding himself secret, so little was known about his early life, but he spent 200 years courting his chosen mate. And she later bore at least one child for Salta and eventually left to continue his life of crime. He specialized in sensitive information out of various wealthy people without them even realizing it. He was able to learn how to trade, protected his goods by simply speaking with him about almost any topic, but eventually stealing from the trader. He also served as an informant for both the Alliance to restore the Republic and the Galactic Empire. Kind of placed both sides, you know, like DJ, good guy, bad guy, you know, that kind of thing. But about 1 year after Battle of Yavin, he joined the entourage of the Hutt crime lord Jabba Deshlek Dior. I think that's how you say his last name. I don't know.
Close enough.
We just call him Jabba the Hutt. He was basically hired because Jabba is he wants to know what's going on. So he hires Yak Face, and he's there to mingle with all the various people in Jabba's palace, getting their trust and friendship before backstabbing them.
Ooh.
Yak Face, I tell you. So he learns of many plots against Jabba's life before they came to bear that was able to help the Hutt prevent them from happening. He couldn't help Princess Leia, but basically everything else he was able to keep. But basically he profited greatly from this, selling much information to Jabba behind his back. So yeah, that's kind of like. He also consorted with the members of the Bamor Order. Do you know who the Bamor Order are, Aaron?
No, I don't.
Oh my
it says
gosh.
right here in the news. So I'm going to guess that they're a group of monks who had built Jabba's desert palace.
You sound so smart.
How close was I?
Pretty close. That's
Okay.
pretty on the nose, but they're kind of special because they are seen in Return of the Jedi. Now, Heather, I'm going to throw this to you. Okay. What is C-3PO scared of when he enters Jabba's palace?
Oh, man.
Come on, this is like live trivia right now.
I don't remember. Is that something I should know?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
So before R2 runs into the piggy, the Gamorrean guard,
Right.
what is C-3PO hooping and hollering as he's entering Jabba's palace and the door is closing? I'll give you 5 seconds.
I feel a lot of
It's-
pressure. I feel like
yeah,
I'm
I know.
starting to sweat. Like there's too much pressure.
It's okay. It's okay.
I don't remember.
That's
I'll
okay.
hand in the Star
Yeah.
Wars fan card. It's fine.
Yeah. Next week, special guest, not Heather.
Wow.
Jokes.
Hurts people. It just hurts.
We are all family here.
That,
It's a spider. Okay. There's a big spider in the back, and he kind of scurries across the screen. And that is, my friend, a Bamor monk. They take their brain and put it in a jar, and then they're mechanized. This is Star Wars, people. This is Star Wars. So, and apparently they helped build Jabba's palace. So, yeah, anyways, there's a lot of things in Jabba's palace that goes by really quick, including Yak Face. So here we go. So the Great Pit of Carkoon, which is, as we know it, the Sarlacc Pit, Yak Face was there to witness the execution of her beloved Han Solo, or Han, and he's supposed to get in a brawl, a little scuffle with Reese. Now, who's Reese? Any guesses?
Nope.
He's like a 3-eye Gand, and he's got like 3 eyes.
Okay.
You know what? They're pretty prominent in the prequels too. Like they look like a cow with 3 eyes, basically. So
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
I'm with
Reese, they have a little scuffle, but then they cut that from the film, of course. Obviously the sail barge was destroyed at the skirmish, between his forces and the rebels, and then, everyone died, but Yak Face survived. He actually survived the
He did a Boba Fett.
He did a Boba Fett. He's leaving Tatooine with a sizable amount of Jabba's secret financial records. So
Whoa.
Scandalous. He's got his spreadsheets and his data pad. He's like, I got all these secrets, and raiding many of the Hutt's hidden bank accounts. Oh, dude, this guy's crafty. That was his last known activity. After stealing much of Jabba's finances, Yak Face went into hiding. Eventually, his memoirs were discovered on an unknown planet in the Outer Rim. Because there's a ton of unknown planets Outer Rim. They just pop out.
Right.
Yeah.
When needed, just throw in a random planet.
I need to name this planets. I need a new planet, so I'm just going to pull it from the Outer Rim, put it right there. Where
Not enough planets from the wild space.
I know. Like, I feel like that's like it's like
Come on, it's out there.
It's like Antarctica and the North Pole and like whatever. Where a group of Yakora had developed a community, of course, because they were in an unknown Outer Rim planet. Records provided sentienologists, with much previously unknown information on the Yakora. So there you go. Wow. Okay, this is where it gets fun. Okay, so it's a little behind the scenes. So we talked about the scuffle that was actually filmed for. Was supposed to have this quarrel with Reese, but then the fight included in the novel, albeit, was Ifant Man. All right, who's Ifant Man? Anyone?
The suspense is killing me.
He's
I have never felt more stupid than I do right now.
Ifant Man is like. Okay, so when they pan over to Han Solo and Carbonite, when Jabba basically describing to Bosch, who is, Princess Leia, you can't, this is my favorite direct declaration right here, and they all laugh, they pan over, and Ifant Man is like almost like an elephant. If you check the name, Ifant Man, he looks like, he's like a squat. He kind of looks like he would be like out of Dark Crystal or something. He's just like squat.
Playing the keyboard?
No, that's Max Rebo. Come on, that's a different elephant. That's the blue elephant. Come on, man.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. So he's got like this big trunk thing, and that's why his name is Ifant Man. So, anyways, this fight is in the novel. So Yak Face, those two dudes, Ifant Man like barely has any hands. I don't know how they fight, but through the official Star Wars databank made Yak Face fight with Ree's official Legends canon, the character was not given a proper name until 1997 when the Star Wars Trilogy Sourcebook Special Edition was released by West End Games. So if you're not familiar with this, West End Games was huge in helping kind of push out the lore for Star Wars because, again, a lot of these production names kind of stayed with them until West End Games kind of got involved. And nerds like Aaron that do RPGs, they need, hey, we can't name this guy Yak Face. We got to give him a good name, So
West End, the immersion.
Yes, exactly. So the West End Games kind of builds out this lore, and some of it they do take into canon, but now, of course, it's Legends. So his name was used an example for Yakora in an Ultimate Alien Anthology and the Force Unleashed campaign guide. Fantastic. And briefly appeared aboard this Jabba sailbarge in one panel of a non-canon comic, The Return of Tag and Bink Special Edition. Tag and Bink are awesome. So, okay. That's great. That's great, Todd. You told me all about this. Why is Yak Face important? Here
I need
in
to
lies.
interrupt for a second.
Sure.
Before we move on to why he's actually important.
Sure.
So literally he's in like 2 scenes.
Yes,
Yeah.
Heather.
Okay. And he doesn't say anything.
No.
And he looks like a giant yak.
Yes. Like a not like a giraffe, but he's got a big head.
He's got a big head. His nose is fairly, decently sized.
He kind of looks like a deformed panther, like the like the Pink Panther, but like with a smush face.
Right.
That's
Okay.
Yak Face. Yeah.
I just want to set the scene and remind, clearly, no real screen time. He's just a stand-in.
Yeah.
Yakora that is good at getting people to trust him. Okay.
That's right.
But he's a big deal.
He's a big deal, and here's
why. Okay.
here's why Yak Face is a big deal. Okay, the action figure of Yak Face was released by Kenner in 1985, but there was a problem. It was never distributed in the United States because it was basically what this means is that they had it all lined up. He's on the card on the back of the action figure thing, but sales were kind of tanking in 1985, which is 2 years after Return of the Jedi. And so he never made it to market, except overseas.
Oh.
So
okay.
it's an overall reality of the figure. The vintage Yak Face is a highly sought-after collector piece. Mint figures, mint for those non-collectors means that it's carded, and this one had a coin with it. And there's Mr. Yak Face right there, a very plain character in 1985, but sells for thousands of dollars, US dollars. So at the same time this was happening, this is why because 1985 was the official cancellation of Kenner's Star Wars action figure line and got the axe. So in order to recoup some of the production losses, Kenner chooses to simply send the figures to outlets in Europe and Canada before actually destroying the overstock, and thus Yak Face never made it to the United States retail. So, it's all about the merchandising. It's all about the collectors. And so this kind of, before the internet, this gets kind of, it kind of almost like the rocket firing Boba Fett. Rocket firing Boba Fett, because it tried to choke small children with his missile and never made it to market. But there's some production out there, and he's one of the most highly sought after action figures. But Yak Face, because he's actually he was made in the USA, but never made it to retail USA, that is where Yak Face, so you get those kind of things like, oh, was he destroyed? No, but he somehow showed up in the European market, and then people from the stateside, found out about it, and that's why, he's pretty sought after.
I will say this.
Yes.
I'm checking eBay right now.
Yeah.
For completed listings
yes.
for Yak Face.
Yeah.
Highest price I could find for a sold item.
Yeah.
The sail barge set with Yak Face sealed, $999,000.90 plus $80.59 shipping.
Right.
And then for just the loose figure.
Yeah. No, he's hot.
There's a loose figure with a commemorative coin.
Yeah.
In packaging.
Yeah.
$1,299.99.
Yes.
Free shipping, free returns.
Dude.
Oh, there you go.
That's the best. That's the best.
That's okay. Then.
Yeah. Right now, his average market value for a mint carded 1985 is $1,000.
Yeah.
But there's some out there. So, okay. So this is finally, we're coming back here. Okay. So there was a little contradiction that he died on the ship, on the sail barge, but he made it out. So, but that's Star Wars. There's some nuances there. We're getting the C2E2. So, Aaron and I are invading C2E2, and we talked about this in one of our news items. Hasbro did his first attempt of crowdsourcing, and they called it HasLab, and they basically say, hey, we want to make Jabba's sail barge to scale for a 3 3/4 line. They needed 5,000 backers, but they got 8,810 backers. So it's for a cool $499.99. You can get Jabba's sail barge. But they were smart, and they're like, you know what? You got Jabba, got the Jabba sail barge, but you need that special figure. And what they did is basically repackage Yak Face in a mint card with the coin, just like he was in 1985. And fanboys and fangirls of all ages lost their mind and basically spent $44 million to get Jabba's sail barge. No big deal. So, anyways, at C2E2, it's a huge box. It weighs almost 14 pounds. It is like, I don't know, a small dining room table box. It's like huge, and it's like, but it has Yak Face, and that's where our conversation started with Aaron. I'm like, dude, it has Yak Face, and you're like, I don't know what Yak Face is, but yeah, I mean, literally, the sail barge itself, again, it was for $500, but now it's going on sale for $1,000 to $2,000 on eBay. So it could be yours and Yak Face. After this podcast, you'll be like, I need Yak Face now.
So
Absolutely.
So I gave you all that information. Now let's decompress a little bit. Heather, I think you have something to say here.
So basically, I've been shaking my head for the past however long Todd's been talking, for those who,
Yes.
don't get to see the podcast. And I'm just like, why? Who are these people? But then I stop and I'm like, but I look at my fandom before I really kind of delved into Star Wars fandom. And when I look at some of my Disney fandom, when Lindsay and I would go, we would always be on the lookout for the obscure characters, because everything was always Mickey or Minnie or really popular. And I'm like, I want Sven from Frozen. I don't care about the princesses. And there was nothing. So when you found that little golden nugget, you're like, victory! So I get it.
Yeah.
I do. Fans are weird.
I don't get it.
Aaron doesn't get it.
Aaron doesn't get it.
If I'm going to pay $1,000 for a Yak Face, I might as well just buy a real yak. At least I get some milk out of it, you know what I'm saying?
Some cheese, maybe. Some yak cheese or something,
Yeah, exactly.
Now, granted, I paid $20 for a mug that I got excited about, not $1,000 for a small figurine, but...
Right, yeah.
But
yeah.
I get the excitement and energy over a fandom and a special piece and wanting to have it.
Right, yeah.
I don't understand
it's
paying for
right.
it.
Well, from a collector standpoint, again, I understand it because I used to collect a lot, but it's one of those, it's one of those holy grails, especially the original 1985 one. But the fact that Hasbro understands that and it's like, you know what, we didn't make it, it didn't come stateside, but now we're gonna put this in with this package. It just kind of. They know it just shows that they know it's a niche thing. And again, these are people that are going to spend $500 on a plastic sail barge. So they know that Yak Face is just in there for, giggles, like, here you go. we know we didn't have this and now you do. Yeah, it's just a weird thing because again, first of all, he doesn't even say anything. At least Boba Fett said 6 lines, at least he said that. But, he's just one of those cantina, Jabba, sail barge people that is just the character and has, is real crafty and has spreadsheets and informant and all this stuff, all this backstory stuff that literally you get 2 shots of. So there you go.
It's the Star Wars way. Every little character gets a great big old backstory.
It's the only way you could do it, man.
Why do you think that is? Why do fans fill the gap like that?
Yeah, I mean, some of it is headcanon, and like I said, West End Games had a big influence on developing kind of that lore and developing that history because, we said this before, everybody has a Star Wars story, and if you're in Star Wars, you have to have some kind of story, and the fact that you're in this thing with this space slug, you have to be some kind of there's something different about you, and so he is one of the many that are part of, Jabba's little entourage, and I think it's just because they spent the time to create this character, it means something that there's something to him, in a sense, and so I think that's why a lot of people go goo goo gaga over all these Cantina aliens and Jabba sail barge aliens.
Well, but I think it goes back to identification with Star Wars characters. I mean, people are like, oh my gosh, I love Princess Leia. She's just, so strong. And, and oh, I really identified with Luke when I was a little boy. Or, Todd, he's basically a stormtrooper. Like, and my friend Deb, who's all about the Empire. Like, there's just parts of the world we all connect to. Clearly, I have a fandom for droids and furry things more than I do the actual people. And so I think when you see characters in the story, whether it's in the cantina or wherever, you want to have a connection with them. You want to know more of their story. Similar to the very little bit we saw of Snoke, and we're all like, oh, I need more. Or Effie's Nest from Solo. There's like, you're given a glimpse of a character and you want to know further backstory.
Right,
I don't know why that wouldn't be true for, like, what got Yak Face hooked up with Jabba? Why would you take a job with Jabba?
That's right.
I'm just making up stuff now, but...
Well, and I think it also goes back to just the time that you had between Star Wars material back then, where it's like,
ooh, interesting.
You pretty much had nothing between the 2 or 3 years between movies. So, it's natural that everybody wants more Star Wars. So if the producers of Star Wars are not going to be making more Star Wars, then, well, it's up to the fans then. We're going to make some more Star Wars. And so they start cooking up all these different backstories. And that's where we get the Hood gentleman with running with the ice cream maker in Cloud City.
Wilro Hood.
Wilro Hood. That's where we get that. And,
that's right.
With the great chasm between, or the dark times between Return of the Jedi and Phantom Menace, it's like people are going stir crazy. And
you're right.
That's where the folks at West End Games can step up and fill that void.
Yeah, I mean, again, that was 15 years later. So 1983, Yak Face is on screen, gets an action figure, but then, later it's canceled. And it took 15 years for, like, you know what? We're going to develop a backstory for this guy. And, it was the dark times. I mean, and so that's where, it just kind of builds that kind of universe out a little bit more. And this guy's an informant. He, like I said, he's kind of like the Pink Panther-ish kind of guy. So,
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's just, it's just another kind of deeper dive into what makes some of these characters popular. And, like you said, Wilro Hood actually has less screen time than Yak Face, and has taken over Celebration and taken over all these Comic-Cons. I mean, it just makes Star Wars fun and interesting. But I haven't seen, the thing is, I haven't seen any Yak Face cosplay. I think somebody's got to start on that.
We're talking to you out there. You could be the very first one.
Please.
Think of the possibilities.
Or if you have, comment on the podcast social medias so we can see it.
No, I want to hear that inspirational story like next year at Celebration. I was listening to WSTR episode 126, and they're talking about Yak Face, and I just needed a cosplay. Oh, man.
You need someone to get on that 501st CRL.
Well, yeah, I don't even know where he would fall. Maybe you fall 501st, because he's kind of good guy, bad guy, so maybe Rebel Legion, whatever. That was too much fun, but I think we probably should move on to News of the Week, right, Heather?
Let's do it.
And now, the Star Wars News of the Week.
Yahoo News.
Yeah.
June 7th.
Okay.
They headline, controversy may exist over Star Wars prequel word at Disneyland.
No.
All about the controversy. So.
Already?
I know, right?
We're like 5 minutes into Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah,
what
right.
happened?
So, all right. Do you find a difference between artistic freedom or commercial viability of Star Wars? The answer is clearly what you can and cannot say at Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland. So, do you remember when Yoda and Obi-Wan were talking and they were calling the children Jedi in training? Do you guys remember that part of the movie? And do you remember what they're called? Younglings. Well, don't expect the in-character staff at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge to say that word.
Oh, no.
So, Newsweek reported that, according to Star Wars YouTuber Jenny Nicholson, I'm hoping, staff will no longer say younglings and instead say kids or children. And here is the reason why. Parents didn't like it because one of the only times you hear it in the movies is the phrase killing younglings.
Oh. Where is Rick McCollum? Because I feel like he needs to step in and take hold of this.
Oh my goodness. I don't even know. I don't even know how to continue with this news story. So
I, for one, whenever I have kids, I'm absolutely referring to them as younglings.
Yes.
Totally.
Here, check out my youngling.
So this isn't an officially confirmed press release from Disney.
Right.
There's no way.
So we have no idea if this is or not 100% true. And though Obi-Wan does say, I've seen security footage of Anakin killing younglings, it's is spoken with affection and reverence to those young Jedi within the films. So we just don't know. Let's see. What else? Does the article say any other fun tidbits that would get this thing going here?
No, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's bright happenstance right now, but we'll see. We'll see if we get something from Disney and be like, yeah, we're not saying that, you know.
I don't know. Part of me is like, if you're going to train your children to say Han shot first, I'm pretty confident you can teach them the younglings thing, and it's going to be okay.
Yeah, but like you said, Aaron, like, hey, if you have a kid and you're like, this is my youngling, you know.
Yeah. People need to grow a thicker skin and stop being a bunch of whiny babies.
Totally.
That's what I say.
Just listen to the documentary with Rick McCollum, and
it'll be fine.
It'll change your life.
Everything will be just fine.
Right. Oh, okay. Man. So E3's happening.
What?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it started on Sunday, Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday?
I was like, what's Sunday, Monday?
Sunday, Monday. It's
by the time this comes out, I think it would start it on Sunday or Monday.
Nice.
Well, it's Saturday of this recording, and EA dropped some gameplay for the new Jedi Fallen Order, which comes out 11/15/19. Yeah, so there's a huge article in Game Informer. So if you want to check out Game Informer, they just dropped it Saturday of this recording. It kind of goes into all the nitty-gritty details. But yours truly, you know, because I'm a nerd, watched a live stream of EA, and it's pretty good. So if you've had any experience with like the Force Unleashed games, with our good friend Sam Witwer, you were like a Jedi that was like Darth Vader's like secret apprentice, and that was kind of Force Unleashed. This one is you are one of the. It falls in between basically the Jedi Purge and Rogue One, because right away in the little thing that they show, you're working with Saw Gerrera. Little Rogue One tie-in, which is kind of cool. So, and the other thing is at the end of this little clip, you fight a big enforcer droid, just like our good friend K2SO, and he kicks your butt. So it's pretty cool. It kind of has like an Uncharted God of War kind of feel with a little Force Unleashed thrown in there. So if you haven't checked it out, go check out the gameplay for Jedi Fallen Order. And of course, if you pre-order, you can get like a bunch of cool stuff from the good friends at EA. But that comes out 11, 15, 19, and obviously right before Rise of Skywalker drops. So no big deal.
And as I understand it, Todd, this is a game that I need to learn how to play, yes?
Yes, because they introduce a little droid that's like super cute and hangs out with our good friend. Now, of course, I can't think of his name, but yeah, he is super cute. This, I think it's called, what is it? BD something.
I think it's just BD1, right? BD1.
Yeah. So if you played Battlefront 2, Iden Versio has like a little probe droid little thing that sits on her back, and BD1 kind of plays the same kind of role for our Jedi. And he looks super cute. It's like, dude, you're killing me with these droids, you know? So yeah, so if you haven't, check out the footage. It looks pretty cool. Obviously more stuff to come as it gets closer, but it's going to be a nice little tie-in, or a little taste before The Rise of Skywalker hits theaters in December.
Wow.
Alrighty. Well, let's move on to the next news item. Rebel pilots hunt the Shadow Wing in Star Wars Alphabet Squadron. So, soaring into stores on June 11 on a wing and a prayer is veteran Star Wars universe author Alexander Freed's latest leap into canonical cosmic adventures, Star Wars Alphabet Squadron. We're getting another book.
Of course.
Rejoice. All right, so it's a standalone novel. It's also a crossover with Marvel's Star Wars TIE Fighter comic miniseries. Alphabet Squadron details the daring exploits of 5 New Republic pilots as they clash with the Empire's notorious Shadow Wing flyers. Sounding like, modern trilogy kind of era. New Republic pilots clashing with the Shadow Wing flyers. We're going for some like World War I Red Baron action is what I'm reading here.
But Aaron, why is it called Alphabet Squadron?
I'm glad you asked. So, in Alphabet Squadron, there's a former Imperial pilot, Eureka Quell. I butchered that.
Just rolls off the tongue, man.
And her bold ragtag crew of crack space jockeys and their trusty starfighters, composed of an A-Wing, B-Wing, X-Wing, Y-Wing, and U-Wing. You got the whole alphabet there.
And U-Wing?
Yep.
All I hear is Ewan McGregor. Sorry.
Oh, man.
Their dangerous mission to track down a lethal force of the Empire's most savage dogfighting aces becomes a life-altering quest for good. So this is the same dude who wrote the Rogue One novelization, Battlefront Twilight Company, and Star Wars Purge. I hadn't even heard of that one.
Yeah.
So there you go. New book. It's coming out June 11. I don't know if there's an audiobook version of it, but if there is...
Oh, there is. I already got it pre-ordered. I'm waiting for Tuesday to drop. Let's go.
Awesome. Yeah, so by the time this episode comes out, you can head on over to audibletrial.com/WSTR
and get
yourself up a free trial. Pick up Alphabet Squadron. There you go. It's not usual that news items and promos like that work out in our favor like that, but hey,
we got
to go.
We got to plug where we got to plug, man.
All right, let's land this ship and head on over to the local watering hole for a bit of a cantina chat.
Aaron,
All right.
You're still talking. Let's finish you out.
Okay. If you say so.
That was awkward.
Nah, we've had worse segues before. Trust me. and then they're probably my fault. Yeah, so I have just been hard at work at the radio station doing my thing, and haven't really gotten out much, but I've started getting into the video games again.
The video games.
Yeah, so for a while, my workstation desktop PC, I had it in one of the buildings on campus, but now it has pretty restrictive hours, and it's always a hassle to get over there, and it's just like, I finally bit the bullet and just moved it into my dorm room, so I'm not going to be making any quality recordings in there. I'll still have to haul my gear around a bit, but it does let me work there uninterrupted, which has been great because I've been working from home, and I finally have a bit of time to play some video games now, so I've been firing up some Mass Effect, which is a sci-fi space opera game, which is quite fun.
Yes, with Shepard.
And then, and then there's a new game it's not fully out. It's in early access, but it's that I've just been diving into, and it's a lot of fun. It's called, it's so metal. It's so metal. It's called Death Garden Blood Harvest.
Yes!
So... It's from the makers of Dead by Daylight, and the idea is that you've got 5 players on a team against one other player. The one other player is the hunter. They play from a first-person perspective, so you just see what they see and the gun and everything. And they run around with a bunch of different guns and abilities, and they try to kill all the scavengers. Now, the 5 scavengers, they got little pea shooters. They can't really damage the hunter at all. But what they try to do, they try to go over to these, they're called blood piles, and they have to harvest blood and bring it to these 3 spires, which are randomly placed around the map. And basically they deposit blood in there, and that's their points. They have to get to 125, and then once they do, the exits open up, and then they can run out and escape. And before they do that, the hunter has to go and try to find them, hunt them down, and wipe them out. But the scavengers, they play from a third-person perspective, so they have a better idea of what's going on all around them. So they have a bit of an advantage in that way over the hunter, and they have some abilities to help them hide and escape and stuff like that. But I've been playing it all afternoon. It is so tense. It is so much fun. I love it. So
it's so metal.
It is. It is so metal. If you're a PC player, you're in luck because it is in early access right now on Steam for $15. You can buy in, have it forever at that price, which is pretty sweet. Just know that the game's not fully developed or finished, but is absolutely playable. The wait times for it are pretty low, and the maps are randomly generated, so it's like a new map every time. So you're not going to get bored. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. Also, we are not promoting this game. This is not an advertisement. This is a personal endorsement. We are not being paid for this. So, full disclosure.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, man. Good times.
So that's what I've been up to. Todd, what's in your world?
Sure. Yeah, I just finished the audio version of Star Wars from a Certain Point of View, which is 40 year. It was celebrating the 40th anniversary of Star Wars: A New Hope, and it has 40 stories, a bazillion authors, and it's really cool. It was released in October of 2017, but really the premise is it's from all different perspectives of people interacting with the main story, and it's hot, it's fresh, it's nice, it's cool. It's just a fun little take on all the different characters in Star Wars that don't say anything or do say anything. But yeah, it was really cool. A lot of fun. Really enjoyed it. There's a ton of good voice acting in the Audible version. So yeah, I'm going to plug Audible again, and you got to go check it out because it was really good. So I did that. I finished that. I started Aliens 3, as we described earlier, and that I'm a sucker for Alien. I love that sci-fi. You know, I don't know. Anytime we met with xenomorphs, you're gonna get messed up, and I just love some of those. And there's a couple Audible originals for Alien. So if you like that franchise, go check those out. I've already read or listened to 2. The family and I, we saw Secret Life of Pets 2 today, so that was a lot of fun.
What?
Yes. I'm a sucker for pets and stuff, and it's super funny and super cute. Trying to think of anything else happening. This is one I totally forgot to mention this last week in our when we were talking about Joliet Star Wars Days, and it was just a fun moment that I wish people took like tons of pictures of. So as we are exiting the parade, okay, we have to get on the grassy knoll, where Father Joliet is or whatever, Aaron, and there's like a little there's like a little curb, like a little step, and the Emperor's there, and he's helping every stormtrooper up, make sure that they don't fall on the curb. So he's, like,
Aww.
And it was just a fun, like, stupid moment. And it was just like, he's like, Stormtrooper, like in the Emperor's voice, and, grabbing my hand to help me up. And I was like, thank you, Emperor. You're so nice. So it was just a fun little
That's amazing.
Goofy thing. I was just like, it was amazing. He's helping all these stormtroopers and people who can't see in their costumes get up on the step. So that was just a goofy thing. But if also we posted, like, Aaron took amazing pictures. So we posted those on the socials, and if you haven't checked it out, you can check. It's on our Instagram stories and on the Facebook page, Twitter. I'm sorry, we just sent the link. So, but yeah, they're all there. Aaron took amazing pictures. So. That's it for me. Heather, what is happening with you?
Yeah, so this past week's not been heavy Star Wars. I did, however, completely binge the season 3 of Riverdale on Netflix. Okay. So the girly teenager kind of came out. We binged that. So that's unfortunately been my life.
That's hilarious and awesome.
But also,
what is that exactly? Give me like a 5-second preview or whatever. What's that
So
about?
for those of you who don't know Riverdale, think back to Archie comics. You've got Archie and Jughead and Betty and Veronica and the whole gang, which is basically the premise of the characters. They reside in Riverdale, but it's a very dark version. So it's not the bubblegum comic books that you know. The first episode of the first season starts with a murder.
What?
I know.
In Riverdale?
In Riverdale. And so then the first season
That's not supposed to happen.
Explores that, and then second season is a whole different component. But it's good, but then it's not good, but you're still watching it. It's kind of like a train wreck, and with the continual, like, why am I watching this, but I have to know what happens kind of a thing. I shouldn't care this much about, like, teenage relationships, but I do.
But you do.
It's bad. It's fine. It's the same thing as people needing Yak Face for $1,000. I mean,
That's
you
right.
just don't understand it, but you do it anyway. So that's always fun. So that's sort of been my entertainment over the past week. But also, I'm going to Walt Disney World in August.
What?
Dude.
I know. Be jealous. And so,
Can you just pack like an extra suitcase, and Aaron and I will get in there, and
yeah. I don't
it won't
see
be
why that's a
awkward. It'll
problem.
be great. Yeah.
It's just a little bit of human trafficking.
Yeah.
Right. Like in a good way.
but-
In a good way.
But like in a good way, yeah. So we've been in a bit of like planning mode for that, my friends and I, because we're going to do Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween parties. So we're planning out costuming for that.
What are you going to dress up as? Do you know?
So yes, so the three of us are going as 3 different versions of Mickey Mouse. But we're going to put a Dapper spin on it. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Dapper Day at Disney. Oh
Is
no,
that the Barbershop Quartet group?
yeah, I mean, they would be considered part of it. It's basic. Dapper Day in the easiest sense is you put on your Sunday best and go to Disney. So
Okay.
it's
Oh.
yeah. So it's basically, you'll see a lot of people dressed up. So some of the fun Dapper Day photos you find online is you've got these people who are like in their suits and their dresses with petticoats and the things, and then you've got the people in the background with like the stroller and the shorts and, you know, the mom jeans
Yeah.
and the whole thing. It's pretty great. Just the juxtaposition of it all. But so we'll be doing kind of a fancier female twist version of Steamboat Willie, classic Disney Tuxedo Mickey, and Fantasmic, or Fantasia Sorcerer Mickey.
Gotcha.
So
Which
that
one
was
are you
all-
going to be?
I am classic Tuxedo Mickey with
Nice.
like the red pants and the tuxedo with the yellow bow tie, and so
Right on.
it's gonna be
And you're
it's gonna be
making that?
super fun.
And you're making this? You're making this?
Potentially I'll make pieces of it. Some of it
Okay.
I may have to just do some thrifting, but yeah, we'll see how that plays out. But I did recently hit the social medias up on my personal, because we are fortunate enough that we will be there when Galaxy's Edge opens at Disney World. And so the main question is, do I make an R2 unit or a BB unit?
I know these are life decisions. Aaron, what would you pick?
Or do I suck it up and make both and just, yeah.
Between R2 and BB-8, that's a tough one.
Now, I won't be actually making R2 or BB-8. Like, all of the pieces only make you make that unit, so I would never be able to fully replicate R2-D2 or BB-8.
I know.
If that is
it's
helpful.
R2 unit. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. I can't decide. I mean, you're between like, they're both like, BB-8's a modern classic because there's just no beating that design.
Correct. But then it's
and
R2.
then- Yeah, and then R2. There's going to be 1,000,001 of each of them. Yeah, I hold my vote.
Oh wow.
Okay.
I voted for you and I said R2.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen the Shalace's Crumb?
I have. So that was the other thing that Lindsay and I actually just chatted about today. Because I said, because when she went, I asked her to get a price point on the droid build. So I made sure.
Sure.
I was
Have that
going
in the budget?
in the forefront of like, you are preparing to spend this amount of money, Heather, so that it's less of a shock.
Right.
And she's like, honestly, Heather, if you want to have a great vacation and you think you can afford it, I would try to budget $1,000. Not for the droid,
Yeah.
but for like all of Galaxy's Edge. She's like, I don't think you will
Right.
spend that much, but I think it'll allow you.
If you need to, then you'll be like,
Well-
okay, that money's already gone.
Yeah, I mentioned Salacious
we'll see.
Crumb because, like, when I went 2 years ago, that's when Pandora opened up for
Yeah.
Avatar, and they had these dragons that sat on your shoulder and like moved around. Like as you move, they interacted. I'm like, well, this is crazy. So now they have Salacious Crumb that sits on your shoulder and does the same thing and laughs, and I'm just like, what are we doing here, people? I can't handle this. And the fact that like these droids you build interact with other droids, it's almost too much. Almost.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to really try to be a grown adult when I go do this, but I don't think it's going to happen.
And you were making
man.
fun of people spending all this money on Yak Face. See what I'm saying?
I was. And for that, I apologize. Although I will not be spending $25,000 for a life-size real R2-D2.
No. You could build one for at least 10. You're fine.
Right? Okay. Anyway, so that's sort of where I'm at. I'm in Disney trip planning mode. And hopefully we'll come back in September for the September recording, the first September recording.
Oh, yeah.
With all kinds of information for you.
Aaron and I will just sit
to
back and let you just like talk. We'll just like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, we'll see. That's all I've got. That's my life.
Okay.
All right. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm going to put a bow on top of this episode.
All right.
Do it.
Please do.
Thank you again for listening to another episode of WSTR Galactic Public Access. Hey, have you heard? We are on social media. WSTR Media, all lowercase, all one word. And we want to hear from you. So, push the like button, push the love button, do the retweets and the commenting, do all the social things.
Be like Ahmed Best and like our stuff.
Like Ahmed Best. Or you can email us at mailbox@wstrmedia.com or leave us a voicemail at 630-557-WSTR, which is 630-557-9787. And then you can be part of the chaos that is our podcast. And of course, check out our back catalog of episodes at podcast.wstrmedia.com. Okay, we need your help. We need to get to 700 followers on Instagram.
700.
We're so close.
We're like super close. So here's what we're going to do.
As of this recording, we're like 8 away. I mean, you got 8 friends. Come on.
Whoa.
We can do this. So rumor has it, if we get there, there may or may not be a prize at stake. Is this rumor true?
It has been confirmed.
It has. Okay, we are confirmed that a prize is
no
at
longer a
stake
rumor.
for 700 followers. I'm just going to put that out there. I'm going to throw
Yak
this
Face
out
is
there.
going to put us over the top.
If we get to 750 followers by our next recording, I will add to the prize.
Whoa.
I'm just going to put that out there.
Oh my gosh. Stakes just got real.
So, Instagram, WSTR Media, all lowercase, all one
Do it.
word. Okay. So I think I've shared enough about the social media so you know how to get a hold of us. Mm-hmm. Don't forget to stop by store.wstrmedia.com to get all of the merchandise that you need. And it looks like we have a little back-end news information for you. June 4th released Star Wars C-3PO Does Not Like Sand, a Droid Tales book. I mean, come on, look at that cover.
We will do a book review of this. I know, the cover is amazing.
Oh my goodness. And illustrated by Brian Kessinger. And if you don't know Brian Kessinger, Google him right now. He is pretty amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
That was fun. Yeah. Okay. That's it.
We're going to do basically we're going to do a book review of that. We have to read that book.
Okay.
Who's this we you're talking about? Just joking.
Oh, you guys are the best. So,
all right, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for listening to us. Let's sign off.
All
right. Now this
is podcasting.
You see a yak face on the ground, you better pick it up.
You better pick it up. It's worth a lot.